This is actually a game that I saw way back in the day. I think when it first launched, I was actually in San Antonio at the time, and I had no idea this arcade game existed. I don't even think I saw any coverage on it out in Game Pro or EGM or any of the other game magazines at the time. I just stumbled into I was in a mall, back when they had those things. I was in an arcade back when they had those things. And I found this arcade game along with Turtles in Time. And I'm like, wait a minute, when did they make a Battletoads arcade game? And I'm basically looking at the attract screen like this. I'm like, wow, this is way bloodier than the NES game. And I also remember that it looked a lot like Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. It was a lot like the Super NES game. It was basically the Super NES game. Some of the assets from the Super NES game with a slightly higher resolution, I guess. More detail, of course. And of course, the Super NES game is not included on this Rare Replay collection. I guess that makes sense. They didn't include a Super NES emulator. Because obviously, Rare obviously has their own Famicom NES emulator because they apparently managed to reverse engineer the Famicom, which is how they were able to develop for the NES in the first place. I mean, if you look at the documentary on this Rare Replay collection, Tim and Chris Stamper managed to make their own development kit by reverse engineering the Famicom. And as a result, they were able to make games that Nintendo wouldn't allow them to make at first because apparently at the time, according to the console Wars book that I read, apparently Japan, they got issues. At the time, they didn't think that non-Japanese developers were good at making video games. So Nintendo was very sort of leery about giving out the development kits just anyone, to any random non-Japanese developer. I guess that was their logic. They gave us a development kit. We're going to talk about that. Have you seen Ikari Warriors 1 on the NES? Garbage. We're not going to talk about it. The point is that Nintendo needed some convincing that non-Japanese developers were worthy of the development kit, apparently. And the way it worked out is that Chris and Tim Stamper managed to convince Nintendo by showing how good they were at, reverse engineering their own hardware, that, hey, maybe these guys deserve a development kit. Of course, if you were to read Nintendo Power magazine, they were raving about, Rare back in the day. They were raving about them. Before Battletoads came out, they were raving about them. But I guess it was them just kind of, sort of revisiting it was Nintendo of America kind of hyping up Rare, because they knew that they were a big player. I mean, they developed at least 24 NES games, I believe, in a couple of years. If you go back to games like Captain Skyhawk, Time Lord, Digger T. Rock is actually on this collection. Time Lord is not. Neither is Captain Skyhawk. I actually do have videos of Captain Skyhawk on this channel. But the more important thing is that Rare was a company that sort of had to make its own. I don't want to say they had to earn Nintendo's respect, but they basically were scrappy. They were basically scrappy, and they learned how to, sort of pirate their own games on the NES until eventually Nintendo of Japan relented and said, "Okay, we'll let you guys have something." It turned out it was worth it because they were one of the more technically accomplished developers on the platform. Even though I would argue their game level design wasn't that great, they did great tech demos. I think that's fair to say. We'll talk more about that later when we play more NES games. What you're seeing here are a bunch of attract screens that, if you've played the Ninja Turtles arcade game, the first Ninja Turtles arcade game, well, the first two Ninja Turtles arcade games, and you've played Battletoads and Battlemaniacs and Super NES, you kind of know what to expect. Although it's worth noting, Battletoads and Battlemaniacs was a Super NES game that, in a lot of ways, it wasn't a remaster of the NES game. It was sort of a... How do I describe it? It was more like a sort of a reimagining of the NES game, Super Stage, unfortunately. Like I said, it's not bloody the game. But it was one of those games. Battlemaniacs was one of those games where it's like, Rare, they were kind of using Battletoads to kind of get their hands dirty with Super NES. Battletoads and Battlemaniacs looked a lot better, obviously, but they really weren't trying anything new. They're just kind of revisiting old stages from the NES game, including the Turbo Tunnel. Don't even get me started on that. They even had a Klinger Winger stage, so They basically took the worst elements of Battletoads in the NES. At least they had slightly better combat, though. And of course, they did a port of Battletoads Double Dragon for the Super NES. So conservative, and might as well have been an NES game. I mean, there was no slowdown, there was no flickering, there was slightly better graphics, slightly more detail, slightly more color depth in the assets. But it was a pretty unremarkable Super NES game. And if the console wars book is to be believed, Chris and Tim Stamper were not really happy, with the Super NES. I guess they were kind of at a point in their careers where they're like, what, Super NES just doesn't seem all that interesting to us. The NES was fun back in the day, but Super NES wasn't that thrilling. Of course, they really weren't invested that much in the Genesis and Megadrive either. They did a conversion of the NES Battletoads to the Megadrive, and that's pretty much it. I don't think they did any. Of course, they did Battletoads Double Dragon, and again, those were just glorified NES games. Didn't even bother to make the sprites look any better. They just gave them slightly more color. We'll get the game started. Free play. Oh yeah, I don't know which turret to play. I chose Rash last time. Let's try it. No, we're gonna try Zitz. X. The music is in mono, in case you're wondering. So, yeah. You won't get to hear the soundtrack in stereo. You might be able to fake it. We'll talk about that later. I mean, it's an arcade game. It doesn't need to be in stereo. What do you expect? Q sound? Okay, maybe let's establish a few basics here. Regular attacks, you can double tap forward to dash. That's pretty much what you need to know. There's a bunch of other annoying stuff here, like if there are two enemies to the left or right of you, you can do a double punch to attack them both simultaneously. You can also grab enemies if they're right next to you. Once you get them on the ground, they stay in the prone position like that. Once they're in the prone position, you can do that kick to get them off the screen and finish it. Okay? No slowdown in this game, that's my knowledge. But once they've been stunned, you can do those finishing moves on them. Whoop. Yeah. I guess since there was no censorship from Nintendo, I guess they decided, yeah, be as gross as you want now. Okay, that is not cool. There's like a big recovery on those finishing moves you see me doing. So until I land, the enemies can attack me as soon as I land. That's kind of annoying. That's the double punch move I was telling you about. You can attack people on both sides. Whoops. Isn't there a difficulty level for this? I don't think there's a difficulty slider for this game. Crap. So yeah, that's the double punch move. So if there are enemies to both sides, you can press the attack buttons and attack them both simultaneously, but it's kind of flaky. I really wouldn't risk it. Okay, fine. Whoop, not dead yet. I hate those guys. Those guys with the electric maces are pretty nasty, be careful. Yeah, get rid of them as soon as possible. So is it 2 flies to heal 1 health tip? Is that the way it works? See? He hit me as soon as I landed from that finishing move. So I was stuck in the recovery. I was stuck in the recovery status. Yeah, I was recovering from that finishing move, and he just attacked me as soon as I landed. The game does that, unfortunately. I have to find some way around it. Yeah, as soon as I recovered from those finishing moves. Oops, yeah. I'm gonna have to use the box to those guys. Yeah, those guys surrounding me. Hey! Recovered pretty quickly, huh? See? Hit me as soon as I recovered from that. Careful. No, he's not dead yet. Now he's dead. Nope. There we go. So that's the problem with the finishing move, that the recovery time means you're vulnerable. It's like a Dragon Punch in Street Fighter 2. Just know that you're vulnerable and account for it. Probably have to prepare for it, I think. They basically don't do a finishing move unless you know you're going to land it. I have to figure out how to... I have to manipulate how these finishing moves work, so I don't... Got it. Yeah, careful, yeah. You don't want to be stuck there when you land from re-entry. Down he goes. Oh. Yeah, I missed. Well, I thought I missed. Yeah, I thought he missed it. He's not dead yet. Hey! Got him. What? Wow. Instant death, of course. The number of missing teeth determine his health. Is that the way it works? Whoop. Tried to kick him. Down he goes. Yep. So this game's about as loud as you expect an arcade game to be.
Mission complete.
There's a tally of every person's kill, and in co-op mode, that's I guess you can take bets on who kills the most people in co-op mode. Look, this game is for kids, but it's clearly for like 10-year-olds. Stuff that 10-year-old boys think is really awesome. Like basically Disney characters who spew blood when their fists change into metal claws, basically. Whoops, that was not cool. I remember that being there the first time. Is that random? Whoops. What's the arcade version of the snow level from the NES game? The Ice Cavern, I guess. Yep, they got me. Got him. Remember, you gotta double tap forward to run. Whoops. Heads up. The wind's pushing me back. Crap. There we go. So the wind pushes you back. You have to pay attention to the snow to see which direction it's going. Good. Like that. Jump. Ah. Oh, come on. You got that mercy visibility at least. Heads up. There we go. At least they show you the floor beneath you this time. Unlike the NES game, yeah, that was not cool. Whoops, that was just a bad place to be. That was just a bad place to be. Heads up. Oh, come on! Yeah, whoops! Go for them. Yeah, I need that machine gun. Whoops. That whip on machine gun. I guess I can't switch characters. Well, no more bullets in the gun. There's no weapons pick up in this game, unlike Ninja Turtles. It's actually more like Final Fight, obviously. There he goes. Well, that cool. Okay, that was not cool. Oh, there are no points in this game until you complete the level. That sucks. Oh well. So I guess you don't get one of them. Cool. Hey! Server rush. Hey! Missed it. Got him. So I had to do the dash attack as soon as he got close to me. So I had to do the dash attack as soon as he got close to that. Look out! He's doing a lot of damage. See, I can't switch characters. I can't duck and shoot. Imagine that. No insta-kill spikes. Sir. Hey! Whoops, they got me. Maybe we have to do the dash attack. Or that. That's some invincibility frames when I'm jumping in the air like that, right? Oh, that's the safe spot? Whoa, what? Wow. Oh, come on! Jeez. I'm gonna have to be. I guess not as bad as the NES game when there's instant deaths everywhere. Whoops. Shit. Good luck for a no death run of this game. Yeah, it's probably easier in the NES game. Expect like you have to pay. So apparently, one of the developers, admitted that the arcade game, the final boss of the arcade game, apparently couldn't be beaten. Is that true? Like you need a co-op mode to actually beat the final boss of the arcade game? Well, I'll double check that. I have to go back and check the document. That's kind of nasty. All right. Yeah. Exit. Got him. Now we got him. There's your exit. Ah, crap. This guy. Snake's coming up. Give me a second. Whoop, heads up. Crap. Okay, what? Music's not great, by the way. It's Christmas music. Heads up. Yeah, heads up. Whoops, see? That's what I'm talking about. Expect a lot of that. They basically can't attack him until he bites into the ground. Of course, he's instant. That instant kill, is it? Well, see, it's an insta kill. What? This game is brutal. Shh. You know what I mean? This game's nasty. Come on. Come on. Next. Come on. What? Come on! Okay, I'm not dead. Yeah, I'm not dead yet. It's not insta-kill, it's just it takes off most of your health. Sick. How am I supposed to know where he's gonna bite? Am I dying, I guess? Sick. Sick. Yeah, I'll take the hit there. Next. It's technically mode 7. Technically mode 7, look. I guess you're supposed to figure out where he's gonna land his teeth. So again, how are you supposed to know where he's gonna land? You can't, I mean, you just run, but I mean... See, again, I ran in one direction and he bit me. I can't say he never goes to the same place twice, because he does. Yeah, I got him. So I guess he doesn't always... I guess he never goes to the same place twice? Is that the trick? Okay, whatever. Just pump more quarters in. Arcade game. So bad. So this is the score system. You have to survive the level, and then you get the points at the end. Okay? Doesn't matter how you kill them. It's not the NES game where you get 5,000 points for killing somebody with a certain kind of finishing move, I guess. So this is all. This is usually all you see her for. You see her here. You see the Dark Queen during one of the boss fights in the hologram, and that's it. You never actually fight her. Have a weird decision, I guess. Because remember, in the NES game, you actually did fight her at the end. Not here. They can't run with this thing, can I? Nope, can't run with it. It hits hard, so it only has one kind of attack. You can't run with it or anything. Hey! Remember, you can't change characters. So I'm invincible while I'm in the finishing move, but I'm not invincible when I recover from it. Maybe that's the thing. Who the heck? Rough rat. Ow! Got his name. Ow. That was the finishing move, technically. That's not cool. I don't like those rockets. We're done spawning. Put that down. If I'm carrying this, I have to stay away from the environmental hazards. You can have a mutant superheroes fighting game without environmental hazards, right? Careful. That yet, don't burn. You fall off the bottom. No, you can't fall off the bottom. This is objectively better than the turbo tunnel. You can actually fall off the bottom of the plane. Just insane stuff. So much unfair to you. Maybe they learned. Maybe they actually play tested their games. I think they play tested the NES games to make it harder. I'm gonna start on that. Did he vomit? '90s too. Ow! How many quarters have I spent? This game probably cost 50 cents. I'm trying to remember. It cost at least. It might have cost 20. Not cost 50 cents. A lot of arcade games started to cost 50 cents back then. In the mid 90s, late 90s. This game did come out in the mid 90s. I want to say. Careful. Ah. Yeah. Take that one too. Drop another one. Whoops, we got a problem. Don't fall off the side. Not that matters. Okay. Pretty sure I saw this in Battletoads Double Dragon, huh? Oh. Yeah. There's a heads up. Yes, they're gonna hit me as soon as I land. Somehow I managed to grab him. I don't know how I did that. Okay, that's... Pretty sure he did 2 finishing moves, and that's not cool. So I couldn't grab him. He had a bunch of invincibility frames when he was doing that move. That rat anyway. That's it. Whoopsie, he got me. Careful. I grabbed him in the abs. I don't know what to tell you. Jump. Done spawning. Take him over the side. See ya. Low flying crap. Remember, I can't dash. Just get behind him. There you go. You can't fall off the bottom of the screen. That's it. I couldn't grab those flies. You're dead. I don't know what that was about. They just don't stay in the center of the screen. Was that what they were implying? They're just dropping on the middle right there. Heads up. Okay. Okay. Got to a little toilet humor again. Like I said, these guys feel like teenagers who are finally allowed to, like, watch dirty movies. Like you were finally allowed to watch, you know, George Carlin stand-up now. We're adults now. What do we do? We're gonna bark and fart and make toilet jokes. Nintendo's not telling us to do it. Hey! You grabbed me in the middle of my jumping attack. Wake up. Oops! I tried to grab him. See? Grab. I don't know what that's about. See, you grabbed me in the middle of the jump. I don't know what's going on with that. This is like Abigail in Final Fight. He just grabbed me and nothing you can do. He's gone. You lick the blood off his fist? That's not nasty. Careful. Down he goes. Yeah, don't get too close to him. I mean, if you vomit, you do damage to you? You can't tell. I don't think you did any damage. Dead? Yep. Out of bullets. Careful. I should have picked up the big melee weapon. Maybe I don't need it. Need it now. Dead. So 4 hits for that thing is enough? That's all I get? 4 big swipes with the big melee weapon? Hey! And he grabbed me. Pretty nasty. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all I get. Jump. He grabbed me as soon as I landed. Okay. Couldn't avoid getting grabbed there. See, gotta figure out how to avoid getting grabbed. These guys like the Andori brothers in Final Fight 1, is that what we're talking about here? He grabbed me before I could do my attack. He grabbed me again. See? See? There we go. I was able to do an air combo. Did the air combo, then grabbed him on the ground when I landed. But I don't know what the secret is. There's your Dark Queen. Probably the only time to see her, actually. Like, actually in the game, the only time you actually see her. Because you don't actually fight her. Again, it's a weird decision. And why here, and not in a later level, I guess. Whoops. Yeah, this is like the boss at the end of a Super NES game. Like, the end of stage 1, it's like a large, like, rock boss. It's about this size. Heads up. Doing dashing attacks. Nope. Crap. At this point, the animators can see that she's just, you know, upper torso with no hips and barely any arms. Whoops! Get that closer, shall we? Can we get behind them? I'd be able to get behind him. Maybe not. I have to get all the way behind him. Did I get him? Not dead yet. Whoa! That's a wrinkle. That's how you do that. But have to find a way around that. Maybe that's not a safe jumping attack. Just see, as soon as I recover from that, it's gonna kick me. Ah, crap. See, I knew he was gonna kick me as soon as I landed. That's it. Nothing from jumping around, I guess. Got him. Nope, not dead yet. It's a 6-stage boss. Ow. I'm not dead! Ow! How did you recover from that in midair? Ow. He recovered from that in midair. I mean, come on. I guess it's a middle strategy. Did I waste 5 quarters on this guy? Now he's dead.